Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Em and today we're going to fill a sketch page with what I now believe is my best work yet to date. I'm not even kidding. I don't know what happened. I just really like how this sketch page turned out. I started by taping off the edges of the page because I knew I was going to do something where I was going to go over them in one section of the page, but also I just wanted to keep it within these borders because I tend to go outside of them if I don't do that. And sometimes things can start looking a little off center, so I wanted to protect myself from that. So I drew this toad, and I have to tell you that this is my number one, my most favorite toad I've ever drawn. I love it so much, and I cannot wait to show you how I colored it. And then I did this little knight on top, and my whole idea that sparked this sketch page was that I really just wanted to draw a knight and then wanted to draw the knight in a side profile view. And something that really helped me with that was a class called Turnarounds that I took on Craftsy, who is sponsoring this video. Craftsy is your online resource for all things creative. The class I took was taught by Gerardo Escamilla and is all about how to show characters from all sides, which I was super happy to find because I've been wondering about how to do that for quite some time now. In the class, Gerardo goes into depth with using 3D visualization as well as helpful drawing tips to create a full character turnaround, which is super helpful if you want to get into drawing comics or even if you just want to get better at doing different angles of characters in your illustrations. I'm also looking forward to taking a class on traditional portrait drawing by Jennifer Gennari, where she talks about sight sizing and using Charles Bargue as an old master drawing reference. I need to get better at portraits desperately, so this is going to be perfect for me. What I like a lot about these classes is that they often have downloadable resources as well as discussion boards. There's over 2,000 classes and over 20 categories. There are cooking classes, which I actually love to cook, so I'll be looking into those, and painting, sewing, crochet, knitting, photography, writing, and lots more. By joining Craftsy, you get to access live stream classes as well, where the instructors can share tips and answer questions in real time. The first 1,000 people to click the link in this video description will be able to get a full year of premium membership to Craftsy for only $1.49. Thank you so much to Craftsy for sponsoring this video. So as I'm continuing to do the side profile view of my little knight, I should mention that I'm using a Royal Talon sketchbook and I'm writing hair orange there. I wanted to write that as a little note to remind myself that I wanted the hair to be orange. And I'm using a Bic mechanical pencil that has pink color lead in it. It's like, I got them in a pack and I don't think I can get them anymore, so that actually made me really sad. I was trying to think of things I could put all in this sketch page together, and I just needed to fill this like awkward little spot that I had. So I decided to put a little crown on a toadstool kind of mushroom. Is a toadstool mushroom like a small one? Does that just mean that it's small? I'm not sure. Anyways, on a little mushroom. I knew I wanted to do a shield, so I had a couple of them in my head that I was like, I definitely got to put these, but I originally planned it to be on a square sketchbook page because I was going to do it in a different book. But then I thought, no, I want to put more detail in, and I just wanted to use my Royal Talon sketchbook, to be honest. I like the grain of the paper, and I really needed to do something where I was going to do a lot of color pencil shading and stuff. That's just what the mood I was in for, and I knew that this was going to be perfect for it. So that's why I had some like extra spaces that I had to fill. But I knew I wanted to do the shield, the toad, and the side profile view of the knight and the sword. So I just filled the extra space with this castle sketch with the sunset and the mushroom with the crown. Those were my like extra ones. And I actually really like the challenge that it gave me to do this castle because I never go for things like this. Drawing trees and rocks and stuff from far away is hard, and drawing buildings for me is very hard. But I had a couple reference pictures of castles and I thought I'm just gonna go for it because I also really wanted to do a sunset-y kind of thing. Yeah, I realized after that taping down the pages meant I wasn't gonna be able to put my plastic sheet in very well, but I was able to squeeze it in the cracks because I was gonna have to use a lot of marker here. There was no way I was gonna be able to not put that in. So now I'm going to pick out a couple marker colors. That actually gets pretty messy on the table because I actually started using so many of them. Usually I just go for like a wash of color on the base. This time I decided I wanted to do a bit more of a thorough coloring on the bottom layer with the markers. I kind of wanted to get in a little bit more color, a little bit more detail, and see what I could do and just kind of take a long time to put a lot of detail in. I just like really had that feeling like I wanted to do that. So I started with using some grays, which I never usually do, but I knew I was going to have like the armor on the knights, the shield, the sword. I needed to pick a good gray. So if I'm picking gray, I'm always picking a warm gray. First things first. I very rarely pick cool colors anyways, which I'm trying to get out of, but I actually had so much fun doing it with the gray because it like gave me a very neutral base to work off of. To when I added the color pencil and the other colors, it made it look really cool, and I'm definitely going to explore that more in the future. And maybe gray is not as bad as I thought it was. Not that it's bad, but I just always go for like a different color in place of gray, you know? So I wanted these things to be looking silvery chrome, and that's also something I would never go for. Usually I make everything gold. Obviously shields, they're mostly usually like silver or wood or whatever. I decided that I really wanted to do some details on this shield, so I did like as if it was like a little crest. I did a mushroom on one side and a frog on the other. Is that not just the cutest thing you've ever heard of? It just came to me. And then I kind of didn't know where to go, but I was hating that it was just gray, so I did that like wash of blue on top and the pink on the bottom. I'll come back to it. Because then I moved over to the night again. The reason why I was kind of hopping around was because I wanted the consistency in the page. So I sort of, if I put something somewhere, I kind of tried to move it in other places. I didn't want to ignore anything. And sometimes I was just letting the markers dry because I didn't want like it to go soaking over the lines, which can happen with markers if you put too much. And I know it doesn't look like it, but I actually did do quite a lot of layers to get everything to look really smooth, and I didn't want to see any streaks in the markers, especially with the metal looking colors like the gray. So that's why I'm just trying to keep it consistent. So I did the knights at the same time and the shield. Yeah, and then I did this blue as a reflecting light color. Wasn't really sure how to do the reflected light with the metal. Also, little metal shoes on knights. Love that. I'll tell you what, I'm making this into a sticker page for sure, and I'm going to tell you that one for free. Not, I'm telling you it for free. The sticker page probably won't be free, unfortunately. Sorry. Anyways, now I'm coloring my most favorite toad. It was a little streaky. That's me loving it. I did some pink on the bottom. It was a little streaky because it's hard to get such a big area, and I knew I was mixing colors and stuff, and I thought it was more important to have the shadow areas and kind of map that out for myself before, rather than go too heavy on the color and lose the light areas. I hope that kind of makes sense of what I'm saying, but you see on the mouth where there's kind of a reflection there of the light. I wanted to keep that really bad, so I just sat with the streakiness of the markers and figured I'll go over top of it with the color pencil. It's really no big deal, but that's why that one looks a little lighter and more just washy. But all in all, I did really try to do as much as I possibly could with the markers before doing the color pencil, just to see how that would go. I just wanted to do like an experiment with it, I guess, because I rely on the color pencil really heavily, and sometimes you just don't need to do that, you know? And I wanted more of like a comic booky, illustraty look. I don't know. I'm getting into watercolor, and I think I just really wanted to like do something that was more painterly rather than like drawing with color pencils, I guess. I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. So now I'm doing this ugly ass sunset. Don't worry about it, because I knew in the back of my mind and in my heart of my hearts that I was going to go over with pan pastels. So I was like, whatever, I'm just going to get the base colors and kind of the vibe of the sunset, because I knew I wanted to be really dark behind the castle. So that's all I wanted to kind of map out for myself, and just really work on getting the high contrast shading in the mountain, the trees, and the actual building part of it. And so this one is one where I didn't do too much detail, but I can't really do too much anyways because it's so far away. And it's a tiny drawing too, so you can only go so much, right? So then I needed to clean up my area by putting away all the markers, because I need everything to be like organized all the time. It makes me feel really good while I'm drawing, like I'm a fancy lady. So then I'm looking for my pencils. I'm like, which ones should I pick? I basically pick every single color I have. I pick a lot of them, but this standard stuff. I got to have my sort of warm greens. I need to have my neon colors, oranges, lighter colors, that old chestnut. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty straightforward. I don't know why I had to go into such detail. Really, I just like showing my little organized area, my little area of supplies and where my pegboard is, which I will be making a video about my like studio area and my setup and all that. So look out for that. Still working on it because I still have yet to frame all the prints that I have, and I need to I really need to figure out how to set that up on the wall, and it's a big task. Like, I don't want to mess it up. I want it to look really, really good. And I know there's something you can do when you're trying to put a bunch of pictures on a wall where you can like map it out. So I just need to do that, and then I'll show you. It's going to be glorious and you're going to love it. So anyways, starting out with some darker colors to get the shadows in, and I'm using as sharpest pencils as I can. This point is so tiny. It's really hard to get into some of the areas, but I managed to do it. I just did it with a really, really light hand and really made sure the pencils were as sharp as I could get them. And the pencils are actually like a little bit soft, so it's a bit tricky. You have to go really, really lightly. But by this point, after doing all of the other work, I had been pretty well warmed up. And this did take me a couple days, by the way. That's why the lighting changes a little bit throughout the video, because one of the days it was super rainy, one of the days it was really sunny. Hope that doesn't bother you. I don't know why it ever would bother anyone. Sorry, I just get mad at myself for the things that I say sometimes. This is my newest addition to my pencil collection. It's called Cerulean Blue, this pencil that I've been using, and I never buy blue color pencils, but this blue, oh my God, I love it so much. Ever since I got into doing the watercolors, I was like, actually, I have no blue color pencils, and so I had to go, obviously, and get a couple. Like, I just didn't have any dark blue or at all. I really just had like a sort of bluish green color. So that's weird because that's how much I steer away from blue in general. I'm trying to change that for sure. I just like warm colors, but this cerulean blue is absolutely stunning. Love it. And I'm so happy I got it. So I'm definitely going to keep looking out for more and trying to expand my vision of blue and trying to come to an appreciation for it. It's not that I hate it. I just never, it does nothing for me, I find, These are the two colors I probably love the most. Olive yellow, olive green. I don't know why. You know what I just thought of would be a really good addition to this page that I could have done was a little jester's hat. I'm a little bit bummed that I did it, that I only thought of that now, 1 week later, doing the voiceover. So now I'm going to kind of speed up so I can show you the colors changing. I'm so obsessed with this toad. I love doing like lumpy bumps, shading them. It's so much fun for me. And you can just like noodle around with little details for so long. See how sharp the pencil is? Yeah, baby. And some of them, I pretty much had lost all of the like initial sketch underneath where I planned out for the little lumps to be, or the little toads, the little warts. I don't know what it's called. Whatever, the lumps. I didn't know where they all were, so I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna wing it, and I just put them wherever I thought was gonna look good. And I love to make the bottom pink. Don't know why, but I usually do that. And I put some just really light blue. I wanted to go less punchy with the colors and kind of keep it toned down. I don't know if that was like the best choice, but I just wanted to try doing something different because I always go like so full on with the rainbow sometimes. And I think how it turned out in the end, I love it. I love that the shadows on everything is kind of the main center of focus. So no regrets. And I use this burgundy color, kind of like raisin. If you know me, you know I love this color raisin from Holbein. Burgundy's right up there with it. I love it so much. It's really, really good. It's a nice, warm, really dark color. You don't have to use a lot of effort to get the payoff and get that darkness in there. So super easy. I even covered the whole thing with a bunch of very light washes of different colors. Like I think I used tangerine, a yellowish color, and a hooker's green or something like that. Yeah, so there's a lot of colors in it, even though it just does look predominantly like green and kind of orangey pink at the bottom. I was a little nervous to do the eye because I completely lost where it was and I really liked where I had put it. So I tried to copy it as much as I could from my big brain memory. So hopefully it looks okay. I think it still turned out, but there's something missing there, but that's fine. Sorry. Look at this. I changed the colors. It looks like I didn't even move. Anyways, doing this page made me feel so good. I'm just so happy to. It made me feel like the art block has left my body, that kind of thing. And there is nothing better than that feeling, especially doing like the shading on the toads and really taking my time. Like, I was so happy to take a long time to do this and just have fun with it and do the details really, really tiny. Even on this little crown, it was like I added some little green, some tiny little shadows, and little tiny reflection on gems. I don't do gems a lot or like jewels kind of thing, but I actually really, really enjoy it because there's an opportunity to have like light shining through. There's a lot of stuff that goes on with that. So I put these tiny little gems. I put all my effort that I could muster into them. And to be honest, I was like not jazzed about the shield. I was kind of worried that it was gonna like ruin the whole page and make me really sad, but specifically because of this part right here, I was sort of thinking like, okay, this isn't really looking like the reflection I want. I couldn't find a really good picture, like reference photos of the reflection on the metal the way I was imagining it in my head to fill in the blanks. I didn't know, but then I sort of put it together as I kept going, and then I was like, ooh, let's get a little bit brave and put some more rainbows. And I started adding my neon orange color, my most favorite color ever, put a little bit of some ice blues, just anything. I don't know, I was just letting it was just coming through my body. I wasn't even doing it. Sorry. And anyways, long story short, I think that the shield is one of my most favorite parts of the entire thing, which I was not expecting at all. I had like a really good time making it, and it made me happy that it was like I was so worried about it and it turned out so good that, whenever that happens, it's like, oh, yay. This is my sad, feeble attempt to put some color pencil, because I was like, maybe I'll just do color pencil for this page and try not to use the pan pastels, but I still knew, I was like, I'm probably going to end up using them. Like, why would you not? It's so much fun to use them and they make a perfect sky. So there's really no reason why not. So I was just kind of like messing around, I guess, but I did not like how I could see those, still could see the marks of the purple in the sky. I did not like that. Anyways, it looks cool when I add the pan pastel, so just stick with me on that one. Bear with me for a moment. So at this point, I knew I was going to do the pan pastels, so I decided just to finish the rest of the drawing, the castle and the mountain portion with the color pencils, make sure that looks all good, because I was going to have to spray fixative now on the whole thing, because I'm going to put the pan pastels on top, which means that I'm going to have to erase the extra pan pastel off of wherever it gets, because it's hard for me to control it perfectly, especially over like this tiny little drawing. So I wasn't going to be able to get in between all the lines. So what I do is I just kind of put it over as good as I can, and then I'm going to go back with a tiny eraser and erase out anything that I don't like. So that requires me to, of course, fixate all of the color pencil to the page before I start, or else I'll be erasing the color pencil too. And I decided to just put a little bit of the white pan pastel to show more of a reflection on, and the shininess on the shield. So that's pretty much all I did with the pan pastels. And here I am just erasing with my trusty mechanical eraser. I love it. Then I'm going to take a jelly roll, and I wasn't sure if I really wanted to use it. I like to rub it on my skin to get the ball rolling. I used that same pun last week. But yeah, same thing as everything else I've been doing. I just wanted to do the tiniest possible details I could. That was sort of the theme of this page. Just get it as small as you possibly can. I don't know why, just wanted to. So I did little tiny dots here and there just to add the tiniest slightest bit of really, really white highlights. And of course on the shield I'm going to do the most, because I really wanted it to look shiny and cool. And I like the high contrast portion of the shield too, like how there's shadows on it. Oh, it was so much fun. I can't stress it enough how much fun I had doing this. So then I'm going to peel the tape off and show that nice edge, which I love. for pan pastels when you got a nice edge. Sign it, date it. Don't know why I really dated it, but I just want to see my progress, you know? Oh yeah, and I did spray fixative on the pan pastels after as well. That's important to note. You always kind of have to fixate it after, else it's going to get everywhere. And so here is the finished page. I love it. I love my little orange-haired knight. Love the toad. Are you guys sick of seeing toads and frogs yet? I sure hope not, because they really are my like comfort drawing thing. I love drawing them so much. They make me feel happy. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I did making it. And I hope you have a lovely week, and I'll see you next week. Okay, bye.